Half asleep, but he ain't got much to say. You
No,
know,
I'm reading something. That's why.
you breathing.
I'm reading
Oh, I'm
something.
about to say, so I hope you
See,
breathe.
that's why I held off on whatever comment that I had because I knew it wasn't what you thought he said.
Right. You know. All right, is the broadcast started? Look like it started, but I don't see anything on my end. Okay, there it is.
Yep, it started.
Yeah, it started. I had to refresh. First and frame rates 84, episode 84. Kind of a slow week, but we got an interesting topic that I know that can pretty much branch off of a few things. And also we have our NFL scores and picks. I know a few people have been asking about college. They're very far in between where you can actually look at a game and say, hey, I don't know which team will win. So we're gonna pick a team because when you look at most of the teams in college, you really get that vibe that all right, I already know who's gonna win. But anyway, with that being said,
Too
maybe
many games anyway.
right that too, and maybe down the road once it narrows down and we see like the top, you know, 5 teams that are left, top 4 teams that are left, we'll pick and see who's going up with the big game at the end of the year. But nevertheless, we're back again, another episode. Appreciate everybody who watched the last episode. It was a fairly successful episode. Especially on the back end who's been downloading the stuff on iTunes. We really appreciate that. If I do sound different, I may be a little bit under the weather. Still from last week, still lingering on, but we're gonna keep it going. Um, Gonna start off with the intros. Bills, how you been?
Busy, man. Just busy, grinding on this music shit. But yeah, man, pretty much just busy.
Okay, nothing special.
Nah, nothing special.
What about you, DJ? What's been going on with you?
I was about to say, Bill, you posting all those clips. You said
Yeah,
you were busy,
I've
so
been posting them on Smule. Yeah, it's crazy because like my manager, she I record 20 of these a day, and
damn.
most times like she's such a perfectionist and I'm such a perfectionist that like I don't like 16 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So then 4 she'll keep,
Right.
and they'll just go in the can. So because I'm starting with this marketing team soon, I have to wipe my pages again. Well, not all my pages, but my Instagram page I wiped because that's the most important one. And then, I removed all the snippets and all that off there so that it'll be in a clean slate when the marketing team starts. So,
Gotcha.
nothing major though.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing nurse and advisor to my little sister. She just came off of ACL surgery.
Oh,
So
Damn.
yeah, so we got a long road ahead, but I figure she's gonna recover fast. I've been just watching over her. My father and I have been watching over her, just making sure that she's in good spirits and going through doing little things here and there just so that she can be ahead of the game when the physical therapy starts. But that's mainly been my focus. My energy has been really towards that.
okay. Yeah, for me, man, I've been playing these games. I've been doing a few live streams. Gears. I'm very. People can say what they want about that game. I really like that game. I like it a lot.
See, that what's funny? No one can accept this. Like, I look at the score that it got on Metacritic, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking that's a pretty damn good score.
Right.
And people are just going crazy complaining about, oh, it's a conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Kids Move, just because it didn't get a 90, it's a conspiracy? It's a good game.
Hey, listen.
It's a good game, has a good story. More than likely, it's going to be a Gear 6.
Yeah.
But
I mean, listen.
People just accept it. It's a good game, but it didn't get a 90. So be it.
I believe personally, I think if it's a game that's 80 or below, 80 or higher, you could pretty much bet that it's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Especially if the user scores are giving it an 8 or higher. 7 or below, you may need to find out if it's for you or not. That's the way I look at it. And I've been playing it, And the only reason why I haven't played through it all the way, and I've been doing it like an hour and a half at a time, just because I have a regular job. But I
Mhm.
mean, if I was like had a a stretch when I was like off a few days, I would have probably finished the game by now. But there's no joke. I mean, the game is. I think the game is phenomenal. I think it's a really good game. I don't like the cutscenes. The story is a little bit bland, but the mechanics of the game, the AI, the actual the story itself is okay. I just don't like how it's being narrated or how it's being told. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the game. So I don't care what anybody say, but I just think it's a lot of fanboyism, a lot of people
Mhm.
want to egg on the fanboyism about this game not getting the praises of God of War or any other Sony exclusive. That's where that's coming from. Where everybody's saying like, oh, look at this, look at that.
Well, here's my thing though.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Mhm.
It got an 85. Gears of War is better than Black Ops 4. Mind you, Black Ops 4 was rashed before it was released for not even having a story mode.
Mhm.
So
Right.
when you consider that and then you look at both of them being at an 85, I think that's where a lot of people are saying that there's some type of bullshit going on. And I can agree because if Gears of War this year is on par with every other release, it shouldn't be below 90. But that's just me.
Yeah, I understand that. But
Mhm.
I think it's getting a bad rap because of just the name of Xbox this generation.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Gears of War on the 360, those are great games as well. But at the same time, the 360 itself didn't get this type of scrutiny that the Xbox One is getting. So I mean, and to think about it, even with that, you're looking at a game that's getting 85 and an 88.7. That still lets you know it's phenomenal because of the fact that it's getting that type of score with the way that people are treating Xbox this generation.
I mean, bro, think about this. Red Dead Redemption has a 97 on Metacritic.
Hmm.
So
Right.
it's like Gears of War this year, there hasn't been any drop off. Gears of War 4 had an 84 Metacritic, which is a bit mind numbingly stupid, but whatever. That's how it is with all the Xbox games. So I think the Xbox people are going hard over it, and the PS4, or I should say the PlayStation folks, are just like on both sides, it's just overreactions.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's
But
what it
anyway, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that. Anyway,
is.
let's talk about these scores from last week. Ills, you got them up?
Yep.
Let's talk
It's
about these.
funny.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the scores from last week. We're going to get into the main topic, and then we're going to get our picks for this following week. I mean, this coming up week, and then we'll just keep it as a cycle like that. So, um, I don't have my teams pulled up yet. So, DJ, I'm gonna let you
Well, I'm
go.
gonna go in order
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
according to how we listed it, since
That's
it's
fine.
like it's in the
Yeah,
same
I'm
order.
gonna pull
Mhm.
mine up now while you do that.
Okay. So we all picked the Panthers, and they shit the bed.
Pretty
Hell yeah,
much.
pretty much.
That game sucked. First off,
Yeah,
that
it
game was
really
not a
did.
good game.
It really did.
Um, Cam Newton getting outplayed by Jameis Winston was a bit of a, I won't say a shock, but I don't know. I mean,
I was. I
I
was
ain't gonna
just.
say it was a shock because this is the thing about Jameis. Jameis, we all know he has the potential to be a good quarterback, but he just cannot do it for some reason.
mhm.
So if he goes head to head against somebody and has a good game, it's not necessarily a surprise. It'd be like, all right, why is this not happening? At least happening every week.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a surprise, but I do expect Cam to play better than him every week, though. I do expect that.
What are you gonna say, DJ?
I was gonna say. I was just. I'm like just the first time really looking into Cam Newton recently, other than the fact that he had been doing good up until this point, and it just seemed
Mhm.
like on those throws towards the end, I was even wondering. I was like, "Damn, VF was right the whole entire time. This man's like overthrowing everything."
He's been doing
I'm
that for
saying,
years, bro.
but it was just like I'm sitting there, I'm looking at his footwork, and I guess they revealed that he had some type of foot strain, foot
Yeah,
whatever. But
ankle.
Right.
even so, I'm looking at his actual throwing motion, and it just seemed like he just is not comfortable throwing the ball.
It's worse now because the thing is, I know for a fact that shoulder's not healthy.
Right.
And when you look at him throw the ball downfield, what I'm noticing is it used to be effortless, but now he's throwing his entire body into it, and he's
Yeah,
overthrowing a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people.
I see that too.
that's what I'm seeing too. Because it just looks like he's just like he's trying to throw up his arm, but everything else just falls along. Because he'll have like a slight hesitation, like he'll plant that foot, and then he'll have that slight hesitation, hold the ball low a little bit behind
Yeah.
him, and then go over the top. And I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up. I
Well,
remember when he would just his arm would just follow through, and that's it.
because the thing people understand, and for the folks listening, some of y'all might get this. Basically, when you're throwing a football downfield and you rotate your hips, there's supposed to be a snap, and you're supposed to explode through your hips and rotate. Boom. Then you release it. Obviously, is a high release point for most people throwing the ball downfield. With Cam Newton, there's no snap, there's no rotation. He's basically just throwing his entire upper body into it. And everybody who's ever thrown a football knows if you throw your whole upper body into it, you're basically going to overthrow somebody every time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the issue with him. I don't think he's comfortable with that shoulder right now. And honestly, if he can't throw deep, it's going to be really tough for them because those receivers aren't really getting open underneath. And hell, he's missing people underneath too. So there's that.
Right.
The next game, everybody picked the Patriots. Nothing really much to see here. Antonio Brown played pretty well when they got the ball to him. They didn't feature him so much in the second half, but they didn't really need to because we pretty much just destroyed these dudes.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that it was it was a part of the game plan to feed him, but
I think it was.
it damn sure looked like it, and it was
Well, they said it was. They actually said it before the game, so that's the only reason why I believe it. They really wanted to force feed that dude the ball.
right. I mean, it's a good thing, get him, a little bit of reps, and because despite everything's going on mentally, no matter how good of an athlete you are, mentally you're going to have some rust, and to get him out there, that's pretty cool.
So that game ended 43-zip. 49ers. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just feel bad for the Dolphins because it's just like it's a mass exodus.
Hey, I'm about to say
just being competitive at anything to get shut out this week and only score what they scored a touchdown last week.
So, touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, so it's just like I understand the whole tanking, but come on, this is ridiculous. I think the competition council or whatever in NFL, they need to look into stuff like this and then it could also apply to other sports teams and other leagues when teams tank like this. This is just ridiculous.
I mean, you see some teams and you see some organizations that have, just they come down on tough times. They make bad picks. They make bad decisions. They hire bad personnel in the front office, and you see a decline of certain organizations. Like let's say, for instance, like the Cardinals the last few years, or if you see something like the 49ers before they got Garoppolo. You see certain organizations that do that, but with the Dolphins, it happened so fast. It's like look like it's just deliberate. Like look, we don't give a fuck. Like look, you got to think in a span of 2 months, they were a team that looked like they can actually be 8-8 team to now they look like they want to be completely 0-16.
Well, see, with the Dolphins, it reminds me of the movie Major League.
Oh,
that owner basically not paying any of the great players and bringing in a whole bunch of outlaw players or guys who most believe couldn't play. That's what you're looking at with the Dolphins. They got rid of all the talent because they know that they might sleepwalk their way into 4 or 5 wins and play themselves out of the Tua sweepstakes, which they don't want to do. It's unfortunate for the Dolphins fans. It's unfortunate for the players who want to be there and they want to play on a team that actually is about winning. It's unfortunate for the first-year coach who was a defensive coordinator here, actually. It's unfortunate.
That's who I feel bad for the most is the head coach. That's
because
when fighting against him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when some teams that try to tank, and sometimes the coach be in on it because they get with the GM and say, "Look, we are going to get together and we're going to do this, this, and this in a year or so. It's going to be better later." But you can tell that the coach is actually trying to get the team to do something, and they're like, "Fuck it, we don't give a damn." You know what I mean?
And this is one of those situations where I can't picture this being like a 76ers situation where they
were all in on it though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they go and tank. They knew that Brett Brown was going to be their coach. I don't know if they know that this guy is going to be their coach. Brett Brown kind of proved himself prior to the tanking starting. But with him, it's like he might not survive to see what happens if they do get to it in the offseason.
Yeah, it's like that. It's low key like the coach is not a part of the plan type.
Yeah.
What's the next game?
So the next game was the 49ers, the 49ers and the Bengals. Actually, I think
there's a name in the chat we haven't seen in a while. Freddie G, what's going on? Long time no see.
Oh, what's going on, dude?
Oh, go ahead.
So yeah, the next game was actually the VF was the only one to get this right. The 49ers, 41-17. Me and DJ picked the Bengals.
Yep.
Well, you know that wasn't necessarily knowing X's and O's. Y'all know why I picked the team. I mean, the running back went to my school, so I'm gonna be low key biased every single time. And he looked pretty good that game too.
Yeah, Breda played pretty well.
Yeah.
Next game was the Chargers and the Lions. I was the only one to pick the Lions.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Damn, I picked the Chargers.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it's just like.
I mean, on the surface, it looks like the Chargers should win that one, but then
it's like a toss-up. It's like, yeah, whatever. The Vikings and the Packers. I was the only one to pick the Packers. The Packers won.
I don't even know what I was thinking.
I know what I was thinking. I
remember I said something about the new offense and stuff like that, and them having to get that together. But Kirk Cousins, he gets paid no matter what.
Dalvin Cook had a hell of a game too.
My thing I thought the Packers defense was not as good as advertised, and they showed that they were. And that's the difference between the game. I mean, the Packers put up 21 points, but they ain't scored nothing since then. The defense just decided to play a little bit too late.
Yeah, Rodgers was on fire in the first half, and then the defense.
He had his gambler ability trait put on. That's what was going on. Exactly what was going on.
So the next game was the Colts and the Titans. The Colts took that one 19-17, and I was the only one that took the Colts. So
I didn't see that.
I didn't watch that game.
But that was a really close game, though.
It was. I didn't watch that one, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, Jacoby Brissett had pedestrian numbers: 17 to 28, 146.
He had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he did have 3 touchdowns. That's true.
Right.
But I mean, if you think of a quarterback throwing for 146, you're not thinking that they're going to win that game.
No, definitely not.
So basically, he threw 3 touchdown passes, and they only made 1 extra point, or.
Yeah, I guess
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, because they had 19.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
3 times 6 is 18.
You're right. Because Vinatieri had a issue with missing field goals. He thought
because they were I heard there was a text that he put out, and people were putting more into it than what it was, and he was just like, "No, I'm not even thinking about retirement right now." I'm like, "Buddy, retirement's thinking about you."
So the next game was the Bills and the Giants. Everybody picked the Bills. 28-14. The Bills took that one. Not much of a surprise at all. The Bills are 2-0. We've seen this before from the Bills. Honestly, we've seen them be 4-0 before when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback. They actually beat the Patriots, and then shit went downhill from there. So
all I know is what reminds me about the Bills being 2-0 and possibly on the up and up is when I did a video making fun of the Bills way back in the early YouTube days and getting rashed by a whole bunch of Bills fans. I was just like, remember the Super Bowls y'all went to? Did y'all win them? I didn't think so. So
And then also, the Giants owner just proves again that he's a fucking buffoon. He was the same person that said, "Oh, we don't want Eli to touch the field at all." And then, we don't want Daniel Jones to touch the field at all. And Daniel Jones plays in the first game, and now he's the starter going to week 3. So,
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
life comes at you.
We're entering that little bit of territory ourselves.
Yeah,
Right.
I noticed. Steelers and Seahawks. Seahawks took this one 28-26. Everybody took the Seahawks, so there you go.
Yeah.
That was a pretty close game.
Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Good, y'all keep going. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Ben Roethlisberger got hurt in that game.
And he's out for the season.
He's out for the season now. I just continue to laugh at the Steelers fans.
Wait, wasn't that his non-throwing elbow that he?
No, I think it was his right elbow actually.
Oh, it was his throwing elbow.
I think it was. So it's gonna be interesting with Mason Rudolph now. It's funny because me and VF were talking about this. We kind of talked about how they drafted a quarterback that wasn't really going to threaten the job, and now Ben Roethlisberger is injured, and Mason Rudolph is going to have to play a lot really quickly. And Josh Dobbs, they don't have an option to go to as a third because he's where did he go?
Where have I seen a situation like that before? Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. They're going to have to get Tom Brady up to speed and.
And we never planned on playing him, and he's
right,
going to be a guy that's just going to sit and it's going to be interesting.
He was getting blasted on when you tried to run the ball, and then all of a sudden no one can touch him. So,
and once again, Mike Tomlin, 28 points at home to the Seahawks. You're supposed to be a defensive coach, and the Steelers' defense has been ass for however long you've had the reins with it. Because as far as I'm concerned, ever since Dick LeBeau left, defense been garbage. So, yeah, Mike Tomlin, he should definitely be on the hot seat. I don't care what anybody says. He hasn't proven anything. He's won 1 Super Bowl. I'm sorry. He doesn't have the success that people make it out to be. I think a lot of his coaching is a fucking smokescreen. I don't like his arrogance. I don't like how every time his team gets blown out, he blames his team instead of just saying the other team played better. There's so much about him. He stepped on the field in front of Jacoby Jones, and that shit still annoys me.
I remember that.
Fuck him. But anyway.
Man, all of Baltimore was going nuts when he did that.
Yeah, as they should have, but he's a fuck man, whatever. Don't want me to get over it. Cowboys and Redskins. Pretty sure everybody took the Cowboys.
Yes.
Cowboys won 31.
And the sad part was
right.
I hated the fact that I picked the Cowboys because
I could hear the pain in your voice last week when you said it.
And then which is going to cause me to go against the Redskins coming Monday night for various reasons.
Who they put in?
They play the Bears Monday night.
Oof.
Yeah, I know, right?
Home or away, that's going to be tough. Don't even matter.
Well, it's at home, but still, it's at home on a nationally There's just too many factors.
Over under on Haskins getting on the field that game?
He better not. No, I don't want him on the field. Not with that offensive line.
I don't either, but for some reason I feel like I can see it getting ugly, and then like he throws Haskins in.
Once the Redskins go to Haskins, they can't go back.
They can't.
I don't think we're done with Keenan just yet. I think Keenan deserves to play out the majority of this season. He can
play, man.
I'm like Keenan knows that Haskins is next. But hold them off. Like, at least figure out what's going on with Trent Williams, and figure out if you're gonna fire. If you find a firing Jay Gruden, then you throw in Haskins. But if you're gonna keep Gruden and maybe get rid of defensive coordinator.
See, the worst thing to happen to Case Keenum was he played great in that game where they beat the Saints and had the miracle last second touchdown. And then the NFC Championship game, he just kind of stunk it up.
Right.
It just wasn't – I mean, because, he played well all year, and then he had a playoff run. It was like, wow, this dude looks like he can be not a franchise quarterback, but, he's playing pretty well. And then that game came, and all of a sudden, Case Keenum was kind of looked at completely differently as a quarterback. So I wouldn't give up on him either. He's still young. He's fairly young. especially for a quarterback. Haskins has plenty of time, and I agree with you. If you want to fire Jay Gruden and start anew, then yeah, throw Haskins in. But if Jay Gruden's going to stay, then no, there's no point.
All I gotta say is that the only positive right now is developing at the number one receiver spot with McLaurin.
Mhm.
Definitely a guy that, you know, if the organization gets right, which with Dan Schneider there, it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
That's a kid that's going to. I'm like, it's not like he's going to break out. He literally is breaking out right now. He went from what he was picked third. I picked in the third round, I believe, and was brought in for special teams help. And then when he said that one thing about like body language or wide receivers, I was just like, that's our number one receiver. Ain't no receiver openly talk about body language of a wide receiver.
I talking about that during the preseason.
Nobody, not one NFL player I have ever heard come into the league talking about, I have to make sure my body language while I'm running my routes is appropriate so the quarterback knows what to do to deliver the ball or whatever. I'm just like, he's going to be a number one receiver. He's going to be a star.
Right.
But right now, things are muddled every play styles, and I hope that it doesn't stun his growth.
Cool. Just a couple things about the Cowboys game. Dak throwing darts.
No pressure.
Well, of course, but I mean, God, I mean, hell, Dak hadn't faced much pressure his entire career with that.
He got picked off that one time because of a deflection, and then he's still throwing darts because no pressure. He's
you got
there like
the thing with me.
You have another quarterback that's out there that don't have that much pressure, and he's still overthrowing people. So,
well, see, the thing with Dak, where I see improvement is he's never really had pressure on him, and he's still kind of overthrown guys. He's so on the money this year. That just goes to show when you have a number one receiver.
Well, that and Kellen, what I forgot the dude that was the second. He was the backup. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore. Yep. He's the offensive coordinator this year, and he's just calling nice ass plays.
I mean, Noble, I feel you contract gear, but here's the thing, though. Contract gear ain't gonna make you make those throws.
But not only that, I mean,
you have those throws in you before. You're not gonna magically have them in you in a contract year. I mean,
you gotta just be honest. I mean, he's done this since his first game in preseason. This is nothing new.
No, to me, Dak, as long as you have Elliott back there, will play well. When you depend too much on Dak, that's when he falters.
But see, my thing is, I don't know if we've seen that. Just like I don't know what Dak can be right now. I don't see a crazy ceiling for him because, like with Zeke back there, obviously we haven't really seen him without Zeke, so we can't really say. But you know, with Zeke, he can easily plateau around, you know, top 5 to 7 quarterback in the league based on the throws he's making right now. And now
Noble's comparing I'm sorry to cut in. Noble's comparing a receiver to a quarterback.
Yeah, it's completely
different things.
Yeah, Noble, it's different because the thing is, and I always say this about receivers. This is why I can't really hold receivers to the same standard I hold quarterbacks to as far as winning. When you're a receiver, you're so dependent on so many other factors. Because not only do you depend on the offensive line, obviously, to block, to give you time to get the ball, but you also have to depend on the quarterback.
Before we go to the next team, you got to understand that Dak Prescott is not one of these top elite quarterbacks. But one thing about it is he's been very careful with the ball throughout his entire career. So we get this 1 or 2 games where he's kind of exploding a little bit. We're going to blame it on the contract here. I think this is just basically what he's been doing. He just have a little bit more weapons to throw the ball to.
Well, and
that's all it is.
Well, and also the other thing is with Dak, he's not an elite quarterback as far as arm talent, but he can put together a string of games where he can play like an elite quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And that will get a team like this with a crazy good defense. It'll get them over the hump. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't see anybody that can really give them any type of trouble as far as winning this division. I mean, the Eagles will probably be the closest, but I don't see the Eagles really giving them a run for their money. I think Dallas is just too stacked on both sides of the ball. But we'll have to see how they play against, teams like the Patriots and other teams because they haven't really been challenged yet. So it's going to be interesting. The next game we had was the Cardinals and the Ravens. Everybody picked the Ravens, so the Ravens won. I can't say much about this game because I didn't really watch much. I heard that Lamar Jackson was throwing darts again.
Yep.
Kyler Murray, how did he look? Anybody?
No, I didn't see that.
From what I saw, he looks awkward.
Yeah, he does. He does.
His throwing motion is awkward. The way way he sells in the pocket is awkward.
I saw him throw off his back foot. I'm just like, why would the receiver, thank God, saved him.
Yeah, he made a couple of throws where the receiver bailed him out, but it's just like he just looks awkward out there. It doesn't look right. It's, I understand that Drew Brees is short, but come on.
What? Here's the thing. That just goes to my point that me and VF were making, and you might have added on too when we talked about this whole. Well, Kyler Murray's 5'10". He's not 5'10".
No, Kyler got to be like 5'8". Yo.
He's like 5'8", if that.
Yeah, he's shorter than that. Yeah.
You can tell by how he's throwing. It's almost like he's just chucking it over his lineman because he can't see.
Like I'm sitting there, I'm looking, I'm like, this is a freaking midget at quarterback.
He reminds me of a quarterback who's trying to chuck it over his lineman because he can't see. That back foot, like off his back foot pass, where the receiver came and really saved him on the sideline, it just seemed like he couldn't see. Let me just throw up a prayer. Hope he comes and gets it. I mean, it's just it doesn't work, man. Every lineman in the NFL pretty much is 6'3" to 6'5". You have a good 8 inches you're giving up.
Like right now, I'm just wondering why the coordinator isn't doing anything to move him around. It seems like most passes kept him in the pocket.
He's supposed to be a move around type offense. That's what Cliff Kingsbury is supposed to be doing, but so far I don't see it.
I didn't see that in that game.
I wish the Cardinals nothing but misfortune because they shouldn't have given up on Josh Rosen as easy as they did. And I don't see Kyler Murray being the guy who's going to carry that franchise for years to come. I don't care what kind of arm talent you have. You can't see over your lineman. It don't matter. 7-on-7 is 7-on-7.
All right.
Everybody's talking about, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, well, Patrick Mahomes type arm talent and 7-on-7 don't mean shit. Once he got a preseason game, we saw what the real Kyler Murray was. And that was in preseason.
All right, exactly.
He can make the throws, but it doesn't matter if you can't see over your lineman, boy. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, the next game was the Jaguars and the Texans. The Texans won 13-12. Everybody took the Texans. So, it could have went either way.
It could have went either way. It's just the Jaguars, they are better than advertised. Why would you go for doing 2 in that situation? I just don't get it.
Wait, okay, so what happened now? Because I haven't heard about this.
They were supposed to tie the game with the field goal, but they ended up going for 2 and ended up losing the game.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you never do that?
Exactly.
That's not even gutsy. That's just stupid.
Exactly. Especially when you have a quarterback that's a rookie that's unproven. Let him learn how to win games. Don't just go for the gusto. You give him better experience if you go through the overtime process.
That shows little to no faith in your team.
Right.
To basically, they're
supposed to go in overtime at 13-all, but they try to go for 2 and they messed up.
That's awful. Next game was the Chiefs and the Raiders. Chiefs won 28-10. Everybody took the Chiefs.
Yeah, we all took the Chiefs. The Chiefs scored all 28 points in the second quarter.
Bro, Pat Mahomes went into God mode in that second quarter. I was watching it on Red Zone, and every time they flipped back to the game, this dude was making some type of crazy ass throw.
All right.
I mean, that dude's arm talent is remarkable, bro. I've never seen anything like it.
Is it safe to say that Madden got him right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's unreal.
I think Madden, this version of Madden done what the old Maddens used to do. Whoever's the cover boy was actually the quintessential type of player that he was in the game. Like I remember when like 2K used to do that when Allen Iverson was on the cover. Allen Iverson was strictly just like Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
I look
yeah,
at Pat Mahomes and I see so much of Roy Jones in him. It's like everybody tells him you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't slip punches back and straight up. You shouldn't slip punches without putting your hands up. And Roy Jones just kept knocking motherfuckers out. And he proved how much better he was than his contemporaries. Pat Mahomes, everybody talks about throwing it across his body he's gonna pay. It doesn't seem to be working that way.
Nope.
right.
He seems to work on his own wavelength. You know, he's different, man.
I mean, when they moved up, they moved up from like 21st in the draft to the number 10. They saw something nobody else saw because everybody thought Pat Mahomes was gonna be like a second or third round quarterback.
Well, Pooh, I agree with you on two separate things because yes, Andy Reid is a great offensive play caller, but we all know that he abandons the run when it matters the most. So it is unfair to put him with Mahomes because Mahomes is going to end up paying that debt that really should be on Andy Reid's head. But that's neither here nor there. The next game was, let me get it back up. The Bears and the Broncos. The Bears won 16-14. I was the only one to pick the Broncos. Go figure. That game sucked too. If I'm being completely
Yeah,
honest.
that wasn't a good game to watch. It really wasn't.
I mean, Flacco just ugh.
Yeah, that game came down to a game-winning field goal.
Yeah,
In which they shouldn't have even been in position for. Trubisky played like an asshat for a good part of that game. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know with Trubisky, man. He's a weird one. Like he has the talent, but he just makes some stupid decisions. Not even gunslinger decisions, just like dumb.
yeah. It's like there was like some interesting stat out there saying that he has when games aren't in prime time on TV, he has like a passer rating with like 120 something. But when the games are on TV, his passer rating is like in the 60s or something. It's
Every single primetime game I've seen him play in, or any game that's being broadcast.
It's like when it's nationally televised, he plays terrible. But when he's like on local TV, he's like lights out. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I'm looking at the stats. He went 16 for 27, 120 yards. I mean, I'm looking at Mark Sanchez numbers.
Right, exactly.
Flacco threw the ball 50 times.
That's 35. I've always said you don't want him throwing the ball that many times.
Well, and here's why. If you throw the ball, how you throw the ball 50 times? You end with 292 yards, touchdown to pick.
Check down Flacco.
Hell yeah. Emmanuel Sanders, good to see him back healthy. 11 catches for 98 yards.
11 catches, only 98 yards.
That's what I'm saying. It's Captain Checkdown. I heard his stats. Saints and the Rams. I
picked the Rams.
I don't know.
I remember picking the Rams. I think.
Yeah, I went off and picked the Saints.
Yeah, DJ picked the Saints.
I'm gonna tell you
I'll take a big L for that because I literally
the Saints.
That's not your L to hold. That's not your L to hold. That's the Saints L to hold. It's not your fault. I know what you saw, but when Breeze got hurt, that was one thing. But even if Breeze didn't get hurt, it was kind of headed towards that blowout anyway.
Yeah, their defense is not that good.
It's not. It's overrated.
Their defense never was that good.
It's overrated.
There's a reason why they tried to draft all those defensive players, and because they know their defense is not that good.
It's so overrated.
Look at the NFC Championship game last year. Look at the game when they lost to the Vikings. Look at the game last week prior to this. Even though they won, you had what's his name? Deshaun Watson marched right down the field on them. Their defense is not that good. And it's going to really show within the weeks to come, So I mean, it's not just Drew Brees keep them in the games. That team as a whole is not a good team.
And here's what gets me. So I was watching First Take or one of those shows, and I think it was Stephen A. Smith. He said, "Well, a lot of people had with Brees, they had the Saints in the Super Bowl." I was like, "Motherfucker, I didn't have the Saints in the Super Bowl. I know what they're about.
They're doing that because of it's a quarterback league, and they do that with high top quarterbacks. If you're an
The
elite quarterback, you automatically get a bid to say, "Hey, that team might make to the Super Bowl."
the
But
Saints and the Rams are the same team at home. They play really well, and then they go on a road, and it's for two different reasons. The Saints defense doesn't travel, but the Rams offense doesn't travel, which is
right,
weird
right.
because you got Jared Goff, and any little bit of crowd noise, he gets frazzled because they have to keep Sean McVay's voice on for that whole 15 seconds, right up to the millisecond. Make sure that he makes the read for Jared Goff beforehand. Jared Goff plays great at home some games, and then he goes on the road and he's a completely different quarterback. It's the tale of two guys. And it's weird because, like, I want to say the Rams have a chance to make it back to the Super Bowl, but if they don't have home field throughout, you can't pick the Rams.
Right.
Not in your conscience.
Neff one says, barring injuries, it should be NFC Rams or Cowboys. As of right now, I can see that. I would
I
not.
want to believe that.
Yeah, I don't want to sleep on I don't want to sleep on the Packers. They're another team that can do something, and depends on, like, as of right now, the Falcons are actually healthy. If they can stay healthy, they have a chance as well. Because I like the way they played their game against the Eagles.
Well, Pooh, here's the reason why he's being babied. He's being babied because they don't have time to develop him the way they want to. They need to win games. Remember, when Goff first came, they were kind of in a rebuilding stage. Obviously, that's why they got the first pick. But after they started making moves,
I'll be back. Give me a minute.
But after they started making moves, the Rams became a contender, and it was on the back of Sean McVay, really, and that defense. So they don't have time to develop him the way they want to develop him now, because he's like, straight out of fire pan into the fire. Like, it's time to go. Like, they're trying to win games. They're a contender. They don't have time to hold his hand through everything, and hope that he develops. No. They're going to take him along with them, and they're going to win off the back of their defense. They're not going to sit and try to develop him into some great quarterback right now. They don't have time.
They know they're defensive heavy, so you already know.
They don't have time. They don't have time to do that.
What's the next?
I think we only got a couple more. 1 second. Falcons and the Eagles.
That to me,
I was the only one to take the damn Falcons.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles were going to win this one in the shootout. But the Falcons actually showed that they can be a really scrappy team. They play really well. Matter of fact, both teams played really well, even with the injuries the Eagles had. I did notice that Carson Wentz was showing, some flaws in his game as far as passing the ball. Matt Ryan threw a couple of interceptions that was just abysmal. So both teams, quarterback-wise, did not play very well. But the team as a whole, the collective, both teams, especially on defense, they did everything they could to try to keep that game close and possibly win it for them.
It's crazy, Neff. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think I've got one wrong yet. But
all right, what game are we at?
We're on the Falcons and Eagles game. Any thoughts? Did you watch it?
Yeah. That my only thought was that final play, that final touchdown scored by Julio Jones.
What about it?
It reminded me.
Just amazing.
Right.
I'm like, he never ceases to amaze me at playing the wire. It was just like, at any moment he could break something, and he did exactly that on a screenplay of all things.
I mean, he took off on everybody.
So here's what I want to ask you, DJ, because it reminded me of something when I first saw it. Do you remember last year when the Falcons played the Redskins and Julio got his first touchdown and it was on a screen pass? That's what it reminded me of. It had to be the same play. It had to be.
Yep, it that had to been the same play, and it was funny because that play, I know a lot of Eagles fans have been blowing up these pictures. There was possibly a block in the back on that
Muhammad
play.
Sanu, yeah.
Sanu. So you look at a missed call there, possibly could have held up, could have taken that all away. So, I think on that play as well as Julio Jones being amazing, that the Falcons got away with one.
And the thing with Julio is like he has sort of like that Calvin Johnson stigma where you don't think he's that fast until you like really look at him walking away from people, because they have kind of like that really disciplined stride where it's like Eric Dickerson, like he looked like half the time he wasn't really running.
Right.
Mhm.
So they don't look like typical big receivers, typical receivers, period, when they're running. Like they don't look like they're trying hard. This is effortless to them. But Julio
Right.
just walked away from everybody, man.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy how he just got away from.
It said his max speed was what, 21 miles per
Yeah, he
hour.
said he ran up
Yeah.
about
No, it hit 20. It hit 20.
20. Yeah, it hit 20
Yeah,
miles
it
an
hit
hour.
20 miles per hour. I like that they keep those stats to let you know how fast we're really going. You can't break any speed limits on any roads or anything.
Right. What's the last?
So the last game happens to be the only one I got wrong, and I got this shit monumentally wrong. Browns 23-3. Now, granted, I picked it when I didn't know that Darnold had mono, but I don't feel like that would have factored in anyway.
No, it would
Browns
not.
destroyed these dudes. Nothing much to see. ODB or OBJ. I don't know why I keep calling him that. OBJ took a 90-something yard, basically quick slant to the house.
I'm still trying to figure out how does a free safety playing like 30 yards down the field still get burnt on that play.
Right.
Like he was playing like they were talking. I know in the Skins Cowboys game, everybody was talking about Josh Norman doing his little thing where he like kind of drifted away from a wide open receiver and then turned around, almost got beat. In this one, it was OBJ catching it short on a quick slant, quick seam, and just running away from the guy. Like the guy's sitting there like I was like, what were you thinking?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So Neff said, looking at the way some good NFC teams like the Falcons, Eagles, Packers are playing, last second wins will catch up to them, catch up with them in the playoffs. Just saying, I watched Dallas last year in the Rams.
Yeah, but
I
the flip side to that, last second wins against elite teams will help your playoff position as well.
I mean, I agree with him. I think in the playoffs you can't leave it to last second, but I mean every team is good in the playoffs at that point, really.
Right. So like every team in the playoffs, you're gonna pretty much it's gonna be a last second type win. It's gonna be close the entire time.
I would say the only era where you could probably say that there were teams that weren't really good in the playoffs was when teams were going 7-9 and winning the fucking NFC West. You know what I'm saying? That era was a shitty era. But other than that, every team that makes it to the playoffs, they're gonna be really good. So
yeah,
last second losses and last second wins are gonna happen. I mean, that's just part of the game.
I mean, you would want it to be like that when the competition is stiff in the NFL anyway. You don't want
the same the NBA.
Yeah, you don't want too many teams just getting 2 touchdowns, all the time. I mean, like you look at what happened this week. You have a variety of scores. 28. I mean, you got 20-14, 17-19, 12-13. 28-26. You have the Bears beating the Broncos by 2. Falcons won by 4. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because if you look at week 1, it was a bunch of blowouts. I'm sitting there
right.
1, 2.
You got 1, 2, 3. You got Chiefs,
4,
Titans.
5, 6, 7. 7 games were won by double digits.
Right.
So part of it might have been week 1 jitters, but who knows? Let's go to week 3 and make the picks real quick.
Let's do that at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's split that up and let's jump to these dev cycles on these games.
Right.
I know someone on Twitter said that the reason why the devs left because they're a little bit overwhelmed with not only with people treating them the way they're treating them on Twitter, but the fact that they cannot produce the games like they want to, and yearly dev cycles are possibly holding them back. Now, I tend to believe that because the games are just way too advanced. You're not messing around with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games. Now, and back then you can do 6 or 7 months program a game and it still be up to par. We kind of started seeing this in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era when games started coming out with day 1 patches or had needed a patch later on because something they couldn't find within the yearly cycle. And with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, we've seen more of it like is rampant. Now you have games now, even with Madden and NBA 2K, these games are having maybe 10, 11, sometimes 15 patches an entire cycle. You know, I don't think this, I think the dev cycles are out of date. I think they're obsolete. I don't think they need to, I think they need to get away from them because at the end of the day, it's not giving us a good product, and you see the communication is just totally broke down because they cannot explain to other people on Twitter why they need to patch this, why they need to patch that. Because if they really just break it down, it's because these 6 7, I ain't gonna say six, I'll say 8 9 10 12 months a year, they don't have the time to fix these games. um what do you guys think? You think it's the higher level of technology is giving them a shorter time to fix problems, or you just think that everything's status quo and they should just do their jobs better?
I honestly think that it's really dependent upon the company. I think looking at EA, they're more focused on the bottom line, get the game out as soon as possible, get the money, get that little spike in revenue, and then worry about fixing it later. That's like the overall trend in gaming, but specifically with EA, um, I don't think it's overwhelming for the developers. I think they were doing a good job on social media. I think them leaving social media. I think because we kind of like talked about it last week, and I again I believe it was a good thing that they left because you know that time explaining everything about okay, what did we fix, what was broken, whatever. Sometimes that should be the role of a community manager. People are playing out of position. They should be focused on working on the game, fixing the game, versus being a community manager. That's what you have a community manager for.
That's a
um,
good point.
and 2K has done it that way. Like you only really had but two or well, technically it's three devs that are out there, but you also had Ronnie 2K out there. But it's just like you also look at the fact that the developers, which one knew their game the best, and you can easily see that the 2K developers know their game up and down. Meanwhile, the EA devs, they they still struggle to even understand what's in the game with all that coding that has been in that game. That I know they've slowly ripped out old codes, but they can't even explain half the stuff like sliders. They can't explain settings. They haven't really talked about ratings so much. So it's just like I said, it really depends on the company.
Yeah, when it
And
comes to ratings, they just put the numbers out there. They don't tell you exactly what's going on with them. I do agree. I do believe it. I agree with that. What about you,
yeah,
Bill?
Oh, good.
no,
Is it?
no, go
I
ahead,
didn't know.
Bills.
Okay. Um, I think the issue is that these developers do so much tweaking according to people who are bitching about the game. They don't really know how their own game works.
I couldn't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And and when you talk about 3-year plans, those 3-year plans never come to fruition because these folks always come out and complain about the way the game plays at launch, and then they have to go and start tweaking shit for next year according to complaints from this year. And it just it makes things so that you can never really progress, and you can never really take something that you worked on last year and progress towards the next year, just like RPM.
It's a
We've
really
already seen that.
it's a really bad snowball effect.
It is because
Mm-hmm.
look at okay, I'll give you an example. Look at PES, look at FIFA, look at NHL. These are games who have flourished year to year. They've implemented something, they've improved on it year by year by year. Even MLB The Show has submitted as far as making hitting easier when they were heading towards something that was really simulation, and then they had to make hitting easier because people complained about that. in 2K, obviously, we know about the movement and everything that they've done to handcuff that game in past years when the game has come out playing really well. Madden, they had RPM. RPM was going to improve year upon year upon year. It was already good last year. Now it's basically gone as far as the ball carriers are concerned. So when you always...
Man, you can even go back before then. I mean,
Of course.
look what happened to True Step. What?
Of course.
To be honest with you, if they just expanded upon True Step, RPM would have never been needed.
That's what I'm saying. So when you tailor, when you go in and say, well, we have to address this because they said no. What was your plan originally for the game? Improve upon that and progress towards that. Don't do it based on what people complained about last year. All I hear every time they have a gameplay, a podcast or a stream, every time they go and show the game, they say, oh, well, last year you guys said this. Fuck that. I mean, seriously, what is y'all's plan? Y'all's plan can't just be our plan.
All right.
And that's the issue with these games, is that their plan turns out to be our plan instead of vice versa. Instead of us liking what they're doing, it's them basically working their game and developing their game around us. That's not how it should be. And the franchises that you have seen not do that, they develop their game around what their plan is. Like I said, FIFA, PES, NHL, you've seen the results.
Young Noble said that most of the people complain about the game is the same game. Well, yeah, because the game, they change things and they cry that it plays different. See, that's what you were saying earlier, Bills, about the snowball effect. When they try to do something different, they complain about it and they're going back to try to fix that while they're trying to make another game for the following year.
Yeah, of course. That's the issue.
And let me add, King Cobra also brings up a good point. He says sports games have become a live service. That's what is slowly killing the sports gaming genre. These games are releasing way too early, and that was something I alluded to earlier, was the fact that when these games were originally, like Madden used to release at the end of August. Now it's at the beginning, and now at the tail end of July.
It's damn near like what NCAA when he was ready to come out.
And then you got the basketball games coming out early September, NHL coming out September. They used to be October, like first week in October releases.
Right.
So, that cycle.
I mean, you got to understand.
It seems like they cut their own cycle short when they try to creep up and release these games earlier and earlier. So it's just like, is it really a year cycle? No,
but do you notice?
Right. You also got to understand, it's like, you got to think about it. NBA 2K came out before preseason basketball in real life started.
But have you noticed that the games that haven't moved up their releases are the ones that I named?
Right.
NHL, PES, and FIFA.
Right.
They haven't moved. Yeah. Because
I mean 3.
Because what they do is they concentrate so much on fixing shit that no new features are really added year to year.
Hey, hold up, man. This kid from Jacksonville, this quarterback is nice, man.
Yeah, I don't already up.
Yeah, this dude, Nick Foles might well just hang it up for next year if this kid keep playing like this. They're just going to have to pay him to sit on the bench because this kid is looking really good.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where I just look at the timeline and I see nothing but, well, we pushed the date up, and because we pushed the release date up, you'll get fixes to shit you bitched about last year, but you're not going to get franchise mode improvements.
Right. I mean,
in 2K's case, well, yeah, we pushed the release date up, so we fixed a lot of shit you bitched about. We did add stuff to My League, but on the other hand, the ratings and the tendencies are still going to be fucked up.
Well, I mean, you saw the problems that 2K20 came out with anyway. They had
and there's those problems as well. But I mean, to the point where they released a goddamn patch that was the size of a game, but that's neither.
Right.
PES is great, so much fun. Minshew might cost Foles' job. Yeah, I mean, PES is amazing. PES is doing this, like I said, without complete licensing. I have to trust that, because the casual fans who want to play, and hey, I'm amped to play FIFA. I'm gonna go upstairs and play FIFA in a little bit, but the folks who are really into licensing, they haven't touched PES because they heard they don't have a lot of the Barclays Premier League teams. but you're going to get a better experience as far as soccer, at least from what I've seen so far this year, out of PES. And I think PES arguably has the best gameplay out of any game this year. And I'll take it a step further and say their CPU versus CPU gameplay is the best I've ever seen this year.
Right, right.
I watched the CPU play a game yesterday. It was amazing.
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think with next generation, do you think they're going to continue this same route as far as building games, or like King Cobra said, they're becoming a live service? Do you think they will become a live service or a subscription based type game, or do you think it? Like I said, do you think they're going to just continue to do what they're doing now?
I don't.
Me personally, I think they should just go subscription based. Call it Madden Football or EA Football or NBA 2K. Drop the names and just continue to build on what they have. I mean, you can
I
upgrade.
don't know. I don't know if I think they'd have a lot to lose because
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, yeah, monetize. Yeah, I think so. But on the back end of that, you're just gonna have a poor quality game.
No, but I get it. But I'm saying, like, when you think about it, so much hoopla goes around who's going to be on the cover, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a whole different.
And
That's a whole public relation thing that turned a money pot in itself.
yeah, I mean,
But technically, even with that, that has actually dwindled down a bit. Like
yeah, it
the
has.
cover announcements have been like, well, this is the guys on the cover. Remember they used to have like full out tournaments.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
but you gotta think.
Yeah.
You're right, DJ. You gotta think about it because now a lot of people don't buy physical copies, so who really do care about the cover?
But here's the thing, though, because then you also have the pre-order bonuses, which I don't know how they would be able to factor that in through a streaming service. I guess they could, but it would be kind of interesting, especially with 2K and the VC and all that shit. It would be interesting to see how they did that. Then there's also different versions of the game, which would cause a bit of an issue. Considering the fact that, like I said, the pre-order bonuses with the standard versus deluxe and all that shit. It would. I don't know, man. I don't know if it would work.
But you know what? The main thing that's ruining the games is the microtransactions. It's the loot boxes and all that.
Yeah,
It
because
seems like they make the game to satisfy those things. Remember when Battlefront 2 came out and the game was specifically designed to to rank up based on the loot boxes that you eventually would have to purchase with your own money.
Yeah, and this is
So
why I put the thing up about Young Noble. He said the kiddies just care about graphics and cars, so it'll probably be the same. I think they do. I think you're right about they care about graphics and cars, but I think it will change because of that. I think it would change to a live service to where they can constantly, continuously get people to love the graphics and buy the cards. I mean, maybe they'll try to do it as a yearly title, but I mean, I think they'll monetize on that end. They will monetize more if it was just a ongoing service. But as far as the yearly titles, as far as being quality, I think Bills, is on the right. Not quality, but as far as making money by direct sales of the product, a yearly title they will constantly make money on a yearly basis because
Well,
the product come out.
well, here's the other thing. Think about disk space. Like, let's say you have the game downloaded, and a lot of the shit that might have been in last year ain't in this year. So then you would have an issue where you might have to uninstall the game, reinstall it.
But
There's a lot of different issues, man.
I want you to know about a little trick that they can do with digital games. One trick that they can do, they can keep the base of the game a certain way. And what they'll do is when they update the game, like you said, that big patch you saw with 2K,
Yeah.
all they did was you patch that in, but all it does it'll copy and paste, or it'll copy or and replace other files that's in the game. So that 36 gigs that was one patch on top of another, 55 gigabyte game. When you get that patch, and it's not necessarily going to be like an 80 gig game. It's just some of those files are going to be replaced. So when you do have let's say an ongoing game that's every year, they can do that and they give you a whole nother game just by replacing files.
But here's the thing, though. What happens if they want to go back and play the old game?
That goes back to a problem that we're dealing with digital games.
That's what I'm
No, that's
saying. It's just like it's a
you're right.
lot of stuff that's like, I don't know, bro. Because like if God forbid they did go to a live service and NBA 2K21 comes out and I'm like, I don't really like this fucking game. But because they would say, well, all you got to do is update NBA 2K20, I'd be like, fuck, why not? I can't go back.
Right.
So
That's something that they'll have to work on because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it may be a way to do it,
yeah,
but it sounds way more difficult than what it is, you know.
yeah.
But I mean, just like another thing King Cobra said exactly, the bread and butter of live service games is microtransactions. And you already know damn near every game that every sports title is like dying to keep pushing that. So we already see what 2K20 is doing right now with their microtransactions, and Madden is doing this with Superstar KO and Mutt. So you already know how it is. So it'll be interesting to see within the next coming, year, especially when the next consoles come out, because I don't think they're going to necessarily try to do anything over the top with these consoles now. Next generation is where we're really going to see how they really want to implement these type of things. And
Because that's the thing with it's like with Fortnite, because they're not doing anything as far as adding gameplay elements, it's easy for them to just add clothing and whatever.
right,
But with a sports game, if you're changing how the game moves and a lot of that other stuff, it's going to be difficult, I would imagine.
yeah, I mean that's why you saw that big old gigabyte patch on 2K.
Yeah.
I mean that's just what it is. When you just
Thank God the game pretty much seemed to stay the same though.
Yeah,
Mm.
when you have a game like Fortnite, they give you cosmetics. You might get a half a gig, 500 megabyte patch, and
Mm-hmm.
they just throw that in there, and now you got a new jacket or whatever. So
Yeah.
it is really different. Anything else y'all got on, as far as this goes? Because
No,
Not really.
I'm like this. The way everything has gone, it's just forced me to start just chilling out, like not really uh being seen as someone who constantly complains about the game a whole lot or constantly makes excuses for the game. It's
right,
just
I said this a while back. If you don't hear about me playing the game, or you don't see it on my channel, there's a reason why. I just leave it at that. I mean, I haven't continued my Madden 20, series for a reason, and it's not necessarily because it's a bad game on the field. I have my other reasons that I will make a video about down the road. But
Oh, let's talk about I saw B5. I don't know if he's still in there. He asked a question. He was asking about our first impressions of 2K20.
I
I
haven't played it. I couldn't tell you.
let me see.
let me make sure that's what he asked.
He was
No,
like 2K,
he said, "What's the latest on 2K20?"
Oh, it's the latest on 2K20. Okay.
and he was like no
Um.
words question mark.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything negative. I just heard of one particular person always complaining, but
Well, the I think the overall thing is that the hashtag fixed NBA 2K has been a viral hashtag, and that's
Yeah.
because of like the
yeah.
bugs and glitches. I'm like
Oh, the game coming out too early and coming out in September instead of October.
that, and I kind of had a personal gripe about like, and I asked Bills this, and of course it's like it really depends on like I don't know. I really don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I always feel like, okay, I've been playing with the Wizards pretty much the whole entire time through 2K, and then obviously in this generation, I've gotten down John Wall shot timing, and I've gotten down Bradley Beal shot timing.
Mhm.
Now, one aspect of my complaint is that my main complaint that I felt in offline mode, because there's frame rate issues while you're playing the game offline. That's a no. I don't
Right.
know why there's any lag offline. That's BS.
Yeah,
But
that's just a bad programming issue.
with that being said, it wouldn't rule out the possibility that the shot timing I felt like I was experiencing lag as far as the shot timing. And because I'll be wide open, I'm not expecting to make every shot, but I feel like my shot timing is down with just those two players in their spots. And a lot of times I feel like I release it at the right moment. I'm not, and the thing is, I don't have the shot meter on. I wish they would turn off that little splash part at the bottom that keeps appearing. If I want that to be on, it'll be on, but I want that all off. But that's a separate crack. And then all of a sudden he'll miss long, like I held it too long. I was like, no, I didn't. And I will stand pat that no, I did not mistime that shot. I'm like, if it was his time to miss, then that's one thing. But I released the shot. I released the shot stick on time.
Right.
So I went into practice mode, turned on the shot meter, and just played around with it. I was just like, all right, let's see when this thing stops after I release it. It's like there's 3 milliseconds after I release it that it goes on for a little bit, and then it stops. And I'm like, okay. I've seen that before. It was in live.
See, you know what's weird though? I haven't experienced it on Xbox, and my true judge of it is my career, because what I did was I ended up turning the shot meter back on because I tested out the same thing, and what I found was that the release points are a bit different this year for how they trigger, because when I'm at the free throw line, I'm mostly getting green releases now, but for a while I wasn't. I've discovered that it's just kind of, at least on Xbox. I don't know if this is a separate issue on PS4, but on Xbox, there's no real input lag. I just actually had to get better at the game. But on PS4, I've heard it from multiple people. It's not just you. So
okay, because I was thinking it could have been the other thing. They may have just changed the timing on those two. But since I've been using those two for multiple 2Ks, and this timing has been relatively the same.
Yeah.
And thinking that, okay, maybe they changed the timing on these two, like they may possibly changed overall. But it was just like when I went into practice mode, did he catch that? Wow.
Man, I need to put this game on apparently.
I got it in the background.
Dude dropped it in there. It basically was a 50-50 ball that he dropped in there, and dude just caught it. Just caught it with the defender pretty much on him.
So yeah, B Fife did ask about our impressions. So well, first let me tell you what mode I'm playing most. I'm playing my career. I'm like really engrossed in my career right now. Don't get me wrong, the NBA portion of the game is amazing. It's amazing. I don't really know what else to say. Obviously, I'm playing with my roster, and I gave a disclaimer that any impressions that you get are going to be pretty much with my roster.
Why Malcolm Butler looking like trash, man? He got caught.
He just has games like that. I don't know.
On that drive, he got caught over twice.
I don't know. He just has game, and he's short. But yeah. So I'm like really into my career. It's interesting because before every NBA game, they have this radio show. And the radio show kind of talks about the status of the team, how they're doing. And they have, two personalities on there. And one guy will say, yeah, it looks like this streak is never going to end. And then the other guy will say, well, I think they need to lose so that it'll humble them. Just interesting things. It's really interesting. Right. I hope it carries over to the second season because, everything that I'm seeing so far as the storylines and some of the decisions that you make, like there was somebody heckling me when I was walking out to the court and, I chose to actually chew the dude out and, I lost some fans because of that. A lot of things that you have to catch yourself when you're saying certain things, you might lose chemistry, but my chemistry is like all the way up to 100. So, I'm not really too worried about that. But the fans, yeah, I mean, if you give certain responses that aren't really, egotistical, then you'll get less fans. You'll lose fans. because they kind of want to hear the me, 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 me. You know, most times I give credit to my coach and my teammates, but sometimes you get penalized as far as fans is concerned. But overall, man, yeah, it's really nice. I like how everything is flowing. The storylines aren't forced or anything like that. You get sneakers for free, which I really like. You don't have to buy sneakers. Um, you can pretty much just go and whatever sneaker you want from the store, you just get it. They don't charge any VC. As far as upgrading your player, the prices are a lot better as far as VC is concerned. As far as upgrading your ratings, I don't think you can upgrade your athletic ratings though. So whatever you pick, as far as the archetype's concerned, that's what you're stuck with. So be very wise as far as that's concerned. I made my guy pretty athletic, so I'm good. I don't really have to worry about boosting his speed or anything like that. I'm starting to unlock a lot of dunk animations, which is cool. But yeah, my guy's pretty much been a beast. You know, he's pretty much a slashing playmaker. So, you know, I'm having fun with the game so far. All in all, that's what I could pretty much say. I'm playing my career mostly. So
Right.
Yeah, I've been sitting there just with that shot timing issue, and I've just put it to the wayside for now. Um, I'm glad I was able to get my face in the game.
yeah, I
I know
saw
that
that.
much. So it was just nice to see, my character with my face interacting with a bunch of people that popped up in the my career. I'm not gonna say because I'm still early on, but
Mhm.
some interesting people pop up. Some personalities definitely do stand out, and some crazy people in there too. But
Mhm.
I had to continue playing it a little bit more. But I know there was one reaction that I knew naturally I was going to have against, the old coach. But other
Mhm.
than that, but I'm looking to eventually make my way into my league. I'm just trying to get the right settings, sliders, and all that set up because it feels like the gameplay is in preseason mode. Like it just has that feel, and that's what the tendencies and all that. Right now, it's just like it plays like guys don't have any chemistry and play now. Now, of
It,
course, if I play in my league and as I progress, that will all change.
and I'll tell you this, um, for a person that's big on presentation in my league,
Mm-hmm.
um, I do like how they kind of added a matchup head to head matchup type overlay for star players or
Mm-hmm.
players of the same position. It's just something nice that they added. They added a lot of new presentations, so it's really good in my league. Obviously, my league's going to be really good, but the presentation's a big one to me, and they've added a lot of new stats that they bring up and things like that. So, actually, I noticed it in my career, so I'm sure it's still in my league.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. So yeah,
Well, another thing to add is the gameplay for the WNBA, which I think
oh
is
yes,
marvelous. I
yeah.
think
With some
they
slided tweaks, man. Oh
yes,
man.
I've actually because I look at like I'm trying to like right now I see myself just looking at the rate that that teams score, the type of offenses that they run,
Mm,
like what really matters in the WNBA game, which
right.
obviously is about like play selection,
Mm,
uh like your not your basic skills, but they hone those skills. I I feel sometimes better than the men do because the
mm,
lack of dunking. So they focus on like the shooting, uh, getting to the basket, attacking the basket, and stuff like that. But as far as like you'll come into moments where you're watching a WNBA game where making a layup can be a struggle
yeah.
because some of the ladies out there are like 5'8", 5'7". Like that's I'm like the average height I think in the WNBA is what 6'2", six
I
one.
think yeah, 6'1",
Something like that.
6'2".
Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically,
so
so basically, the NBA 2K got the WNBA right compared to what the Live did.
Well,
I
and I'll
but
say this real quick, just a
mhm.
disclaimer: all y'all seeing them stupid dunk videos out here
I was
with the
about to talk about that
WNBA,
too. Yeah,
it's bullshit. There was sliders tweaked. They put the dunk ability all the way up. Don't buy that shit. Don't buy into that.
Yeah, because I had my
But you know,
I
people.
had my WNBA expert, my sister, check out the ratings. Like we sat there and I had her sit and watch a game, and she even sat there and said it definitely is much improved over what live did. And we even went into the ratings, the traits and stuff.
Which I wish you could fucking adjust 2K.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's year one, but we definitely need that last year.
Well, that and being able to practice with them.
That too.
It's just like, okay, we can only play them and play now and in a season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, but if you want people to really know these women and when they play and how they play, their tendencies, and really get into that mode, you got to open it up for them to be selectable in the 2KU. Yep. Because like basketball is basketball, but obviously men play basketball different than the way women do. Mm-hmm. So you use the 2KU, and this, I think, looking at it now, that's a huge miss by 2K to not have them in the 2KU as well.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that. And I don't even have the game. At least, with them being their first year in the game, you should give as much access as possible so people can get accustomed to playing with them. Because with 2K been out all this long time, you only play with people with the likes of a male player. So the female one, they should have them give them more access so they can practice with them. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would say the last thing about the WNBA was that, it's women moving like women because they were motion captioned by women.
Yeah.
Yeah, Live had that issue.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, Live had the issue where they had the guys, for the most part, motion cap the women's movement, and you can tell on Live. It just was very offsetting. It didn't look right. That's it. I guess we could jump into these week 3 picks.
Well, right now, I think it's kind of too late to pick this Jacksonville game.
Yeah, we're just gonna fucking sidestep that one.
Yeah, we're gonna that's gonna be pretty much a wash. It's like the Titans are gonna get ran over in this one.
Sidestep that one.
Right.
Just 1 second. Let me set this up. All right. So the first game is the Jets and the Patriots. Patriots home.
Patriots are gonna win.
Patriots, yeah. Patriots are gonna win that one.
Unanimous Patriots. Okay, Bengals and the Bills.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna take the Bills though. I like Josh Allen.
I'm taking the Bills.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay.
That's gonna be a pretty good. I think that's gonna be a pretty good game though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Bengals. Okay. Dolphins.
Oh God.
Dolphins and the Cowboys.
Let's not even pick this game. Let's pick and see.
Let's pick
the point deficit.
The deficit of the score. I think Cowboys by at least 20.
I'm thinking Cowboys by 30.
I'm gonna say 27-3.
Okay. I don't know what the final score is going to be, but I'm giving Cowboys going to win at least by 20.
So VF said boys by 20.
And DJ said Cowboys by 30.
Boys by 30.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I even go further. By 30 by midway through the second quarter.
I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to say Cowboys by 21, and the Dolphins do not score a touchdown.
3. Okay.
Noble, we'll put up here what Noble just put. What Noble said. Let's see if I can get it. Is it pulled up yet? No, it's not pulled up yet.
Halfway through. DJ, you said halfway through the second quarter?
Halfway through the second quarter.
Okay. I'm right now, these little details.
Noble put. He said Dolphins going to win and pull the upset.
Nah, that shit happens, bro.
Yeah, and then they turned off their Madden game.
Right.
Right. I was about to say
which they can play in the stadium before they walk into the game.
That shit wouldn't even happen in Madden, bro.
Yeah, I think Cowboys by 3 touchdowns and Dolphins don't score a touchdown.
All right, so I have you Cowboys by 20, no TDs for the Dolphins. DJ, I have Cowboys by 30 halfway through the second quarter, and Mia has 27-3.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is Broncos and the Packers.
Packers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got the Packers.
Yeah,
I got the Packers winning that one, but I won't be surprised. Broncos defense is pretty good, but I'm taking the Packers. I'm taking the Packers.
Okay, Packers.
Noble said Miami tweaked the sliders.
Packers.
yeah, they
Okay.
mistakenly lowered the user sliders.
I know, right? Ooh, Falcons and Colts. This is gonna be a good one.
I'm taking Falcons.
I'm taking Colts.
Ooh, I don't know. This is a hard one. I'm gonna take the Colts.
I'm gonna take the Colts on this one. Yep.
Yeah, I think the Falcons will pull this one off.
Okay. Next we got the Ravens and the Chiefs. That's gonna be another good one.
Ooh.
Ravens and Chiefs. I'm taking.
Whew.
I'm gonna take Baltimore in this one.
What are they playing?
in
Kansas City. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
I'm taking Chiefs, and I think that to be honest with you, the Ravens have been looking good, but I think they come down to earth in this week. They'll probably end up losing by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Whoa! By 2 touchdowns for real?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't have a bold
Baltimore's got a
prediction
good
for this.
defense.
Pull back for a second. Think about it now. The Ravens played the Dolphins and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying they're a bad team. I just think they're just going to come down to earth playing a more elite team.
I'm taking Baltimore still. So
yeah, I got Baltimore. I mean, I got Kansas City.
what to say?
Raiders and the Vikings. It's another hard one.
That's
That's a toss up. I don't know.
Let me. Do I have a coin around here? Because with this game, right now, Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
I think Dalvin Cook tramples them. I'm gonna take the Vikings.
I think Dalvin Cook have a good game, but it all depends on what Kirk Cousins do. If he
I think it depends on what Derek Carr does.
I put it like this: if either quarterback have a decent game, that team's going to win. Both quarterbacks aren't going to do good this game. One of them going to fuck up. Whoever's the one that's fucked up, that's the one that's not going to have. They're going to lose the game.
I'm gonna go with option C. This game ends in a tie.
Okay, DJ says tie.
They've been happening more often, so that is an option.
Yeah, who you got?
I'm gonna take the Vikings. And I think the defense. I think the defense is stymie Derek Carr.
Vikings. Okay. Lions and the Eagles.
Eagles.
Hold up, let me see. Where's that game?
I think the Eagles gonna be a little bit. They're gonna be a little bit peeved because they lost the game last week. I don't know if the receiver's going to be healthy still, but
I'm going to take Detroit in this one.
I'm taking Detroit too.
I'm taking Detroit. I'm going to take the Eagles in this one.
Because right now, those fans are going in on Wentz, and I'm just like, it's not Wentz's fault.
And Darren Sproles too. Darren Sproles keep getting playing time. People going to start slitting their wrists.
Honestly, I have a problem with the Eagles fans getting mad at that. I'm tired of seeing them, and I don't even like the team.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing them personally.
Oh, God, this is going to be a shit show. The Panthers and the Cardinals. Give me the Panthers, but who cares, really?
Ooh.
Is Cam Newton even going to be playing in that game?
I don't know if he is. I don't think he is, but I still got the Arizona's defense is so bad. I'm still taking Carolina.
I think Kyler Murray gets his first win.
I think so, too. I think Arizona pulls this one out.
Yeah, something telling me that
because I don't see Kyler Murray overthrowing people.
Noble Wentz isn't hurt, but everybody else around him is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I know what's her name, Real Eagles Mama that does streaming on Twitch. She keeps asking about what's the name, the former Eagles receiver doing for 2 weeks because Deshaun's gonna be hurt.
Right.
All right, we got some throwaway games this week. Giants and the Buccaneers. Once again, who gives a fuck? Give me Daniel Jones getting his first win.
If Daniel Jones starting, he's getting his first win. Giants win.
All right, Giants.
Giants.
Okay, Texans and the Chargers. This seems like it's gonna be a good game.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Deshaun Watson on the road. Give me the Texans.
I'm
Yeah,
going with the Chargers on this
Going
one.
with the Chargers. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Give
I'm taking
the
the Texans.
Chargers. Okay, we got a couple more. Um, this is gonna be an interesting game. Steelers at the 49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, I'm taking 49ers. That's not
Oh,
because of Matt Prater. I just don't think the Steelers are that good.
I'm gonna take.
They are getting Mika Fitzpatrick. They are getting him.
I'm gonna take the Steelers. Why not? I'll do it. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. Saints and the Seahawks. This seems like another interesting
Seahawks.
game, but I got
Yeah,
the Seahawks. Seahawks.
I don't see Teddy Bridgewater or that other quarterback. I don't see them getting them a W. Those two quarterbacks are tight. Teddy Bridgewater is not the same guy he's been since he blew his knee out.
You got
And that other quarterback, he's good, but he looks like he's only good for a few plays.
Yeah, you got Bridgewater on the road. You got Taysom Hill having never really played quarterback full time in the NFL. You got him on the road in Seattle of all places. Yeah, you got Seattle.
If it was another setting that's not as hostile as Seattle, I would probably take him. But
Ooh, this game is gonna be really good. 8:20, the Rams and the Browns.
I'm taking Rams though.
Ooh.
It's going to be a good game, but I'm taking the Rams. I just don't think the Browns defense is going to step up against the Rams.
Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns. I got Jared Goff on the road. Give me the Browns.
I'm going with the Browns on this one too.
That's a sexy pick. I can see why, but I'm still not a believer in the Browns.
I don't believe in the Browns, but I believe in Jared Goff even less. so I'm gonna take the Browns by default. Monday night game. I already kind of got DJ's impression of this. Bears and the Redskins.
Bears.
You got Mr.
It's just too many.
You got Mitch on on national stage. He's going to go like
and on the road.
Yeah, he's going to go like 16 of 35.
I was in the category where I was going to go like 15 of 34 and shit.
Yeah, he's going to be like when he plays prime time, he has those type of numbers. So I'm taking Redskins. If they're playing on a regular 4:00 Sunday, I would take the Bears.
The obvious reason I'm taking the Bears in this one is because the Redskins don't do well in nationally televised games and at home.
I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say Tariq Cohen is not what their run game needs right now. Mitch Trubisky on the road, I don't like it.
That other running back they got,
Montgomery's pretty good. He is.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
But yeah, Mitch Trubisky, I can see him throwing the ball away in the fourth quarter. I'm going to take the Redskins.
Yeah, I'm taking Redskins. I do not trust Mitch on primetime TV. Not at all.
I don't trust Jay Gruden calling a good game.
I understand that. I understand that. So yeah, there go the picks.
Those are all the picks. Nothing else. And we went through them pretty quick.
That's it.
That's
we did do a good job on them.
Those were easy. That's why we did a good job last week.
Yeah, half of them were pretty easy. I will admit to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you're talking about anytime the Dolphins play.
Which my prediction will be when the Redskins play the Dolphins. After the Redskins lose that game, Jay Gruden will be fired.
Oh God! You think the Dolphins? Slow down, man. Give it.
Hey, we at Redskins Nation are already looking at that game as the game that decides Jay's fate.
Okay.
I got a question for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fantasy football question. Anybody in the chat can answer too. All right, so I got Le'Veon Bell facing New England, and I got Philip Lindsay facing Green Bay. Who do I start?
Say that again.
So I got Le'Veon Bell facing New England at New England. I got Philip Lindsay at Green Bay. Who do I start?
Lindsay.
Yeah, I'll take Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm taking
because I mean,
because you gotta think about Green Bay's defense is not necessarily their front seven. It's the secondary that's actually that good. So
this would be the only time I sit Le'Veon Bell is because, like, I mean, there's no threat of a pass, so it's pretty much just gonna be stack the box. Yeah,
because you know New England does very well against the run. Le'Veon Bell is Le'Veon Bell, but
here's the thing: let's say Lindsay doesn't do anything, Le'Veon scores a garbage time touchdown. I might end up shooting myself in the foot with that.
Yeah, okay, but I think the chances of Lindsay doing better over the garbage time touchdown is almost a push. But I'll still lean towards Lindsay.
Yeah,
all right,
true.
let me roll back the clock a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Reese. I've never seen that name before, but he says, I
Mm-hmm.
know this is off topic, but what are y'all's NBA 2K20 sliders been? He's been using Shady Mike sliders. Just want to feel out different realistic slider sets. I'm still in the midst of
Um.
figuring mine out. I wanted. There's another person that talked about he had sliders that were he was doing his on with the superstar based. I'm doing mine on Hall of Fame based.
Yeah.
So
Um. So Pete, basically, what I can tell you is, I can't upload mine obviously onto the chat or whatever, but basically, what I'll say is this: the main things you need to focus on if you're doing a slider set, the first thing is put the ball security all the way down to zero. No matter what, put the ball security all the way down to zero. Um, and then you have to tinker with the body up sensitivity because that's really going to show, how easy it is to get around guys and things like that. The help defensive slider, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you anything about that because I just had to go in and fix everybody's help defensive IQ. I don't think that slider works. I'll be completely honest. I don't think it works.
Well, one thing I could say, I mean, I don't play, I haven't played 2K20, but I know
Mhm.
a lot of you guys may not know the PC community that does the NBA 2K. They have great slider sets. I don't know who to go to let you know who to go to right now for them. But if you just go on Operation Sports, I'm pretty sure they're pointing in the right direction. Every 2K that I've played on PC, their slider sets have been really good. I don't know the names of the guys. I have to look it up. But they've
Mhm.
always been really good. Even go back to the NBA 2K14 mod that I still, really I still value very high. They have a slider set for the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s.
Sound like me.
Yeah, I mean they have those, and so the PC community is really the place to go to find 2K
Yeah.
NBA 2K sliders. They those are guys
Look in the OS forums, man.
right. I mean the console guys, you don't hear too much about it on consoles, and I
Uh,
don't know why, but I know the PC community are really big. Not only just slider, and the sliders do work for consoles as well, so don't just feel intimidated about it. But they are real particular about the 2K basketball games. They do way more than just sliders. They do modding and all that stuff. They're real big on it. So I that's my suggestion if you're looking for realistic sliders. They do a phenomenal job.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, I can only tell you things to focus on because I haven't really uploaded my sliders. I don't know if you're on Xbox or what, but uh, I can really just basically just tell you things to focus on. Honestly, if you want the most realistic experience and you have any free time at all, you should probably just kind of work on a roster, man. I'm being completely honest. The sliders, I mean, hey, if the sliders work for you, they work, but you're gonna have to really dig to find a good slider set.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Um,
It's like that's why I say the PC community. I mean, just when Madden came onto the scene on the PC, the things that they've been doing with that game, they don't just create a slider set for a particular game. They go in depth to like actually go in to see how it runs and works. I
yeah.
mean, with the fact that NBA 2K has a lot to go for it with the slider sets alone, that's
Mhm.
why I recommend you just go to them and look at their sliders because they already go in depth like way more than what the console guys do.
And honestly, before you even look up any slider sets, just go into practice mode and tinker with some things, man. That's kind of why it's there.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It gives you a
mhm.
description, which is a pretty decent description of each slider. So just kind of tinker with some things, and even jot down some notes about what you're seeing that you might want to change, and most likely you can kind of get that done yourself. Because if you download that slider set, it might work for some people, it might not work for everybody. Especially once you start talking about statistics and all that stuff and
Right,
realistic stats, because that's kind of where I'm at right now.
right, right.
I've already, I handled all this shit day one, as I posted on Twitter, so I don't really got to worry about that. But I know a lot of people looking for slider sets at this point. They're kind of, they're deep in the game now, so
Yeah.
I would kind of tinker with them.
Yeah, that's one thing I
So
can say. Like I said about the 2K community is very different from the Madden community. Madden, you have a lot of people looking into the sliders and try to work the game out themselves. It's very hard to find too many people that are into the 2K ones as much as the Madden ones, but they are out there. And if you go look, you will find some really good ones.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
anything else y'all got?
I
Uh,
know.
oh, go.
I know if anything else, I know if out of all the sliders I'm heavily working on is NHL 20
Okay.
sliders, and I had to. Yeah, it seems like there's certain things. I had the green zone last year. It seems like there's certain things that have changed a little bit, thrown off whatever I had last year.
I can't
Can't
touch
do
the
them.
game until I fucking buy it now because I got like 75 minutes left in my trial. But I know when I do get it, I'm gonna end up bumping it up to superstar probably and make some sliders for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all
So,
right. Yeah, so
and next week I'll let everybody know about FIFA.
yeah, I was about to say because next week I know we're gonna have a little bit more to talk about
Yeah.
on top of what we got going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anything else y'all got to want to add to this episode before we go?
No, so
No, that's pretty much it.
thank everybody
So
for coming by.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
despite that we didn't have all the topics, I think we had a very fulfilling show. I think it turned out to be really good.
I think honestly, one or two topics should be fine because it gives us like more to really dial in, and we can just push off of those. I know we were doing three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also
Like,
with the NFL score stuff, I mean, those are two topics within themselves, you know.
Yeah.
mhm.
And they, and from what I see, a lot of people who are listening, they really like it. So, and
Mhm.
I have no problem continuing that. And why this rookie is like lighting up the Titans right now.
I can't play any show because I can't pronounce half the name. What man?
Well, then learn how to pronounce their
You know
names.
what? That sounds like some f-ball critic give his reason to why he don't want to play MLB the show because he don't know nobody. Like he can't get a chance to learn anybody.
Look, look. Sim F was the same person who didn't know how to pass the damn ball on 2K, and then we tried to tell him that there was a different interface. He's like, I shouldn't have to change it. What the man? Get out of here with that.
This
Mm.
is, you know what? I'm not even. No, but you're right though, man, because he was trying to throw the ball in 2K like you do in
Playing on
Madden.
that shitty 2K camera as it is.
Right.
No,
And
like-
I even told him specifically, I was like, look, your thumb is holding up on, of course, it's going to direct the players towards the basket. Your
Hey.
thumb is still on the stick.
Hey.
You got to throw your
You know,
thumb
hey.
away
You
from
know,
But DJ, this is what it shows. They've never played NHL and FIFA and PES because you have to do that on those games naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling him like when he was playing NFL 2K5, I was telling him, look, you gotta move the left analog stick right as you press the pass button, the pass icon button. You can't press the analog stick up and then press the button. That's what you do in Madden. It's all one motion. Like when the ball is about to be released, that's when you move the analog stick. He didn't realize that. So
Yeah,
but
Young Noble, as far as like the most difficult name I've had to pronounce in the NHL was a guy named Yaroslav Savkovsky.
why
That's the
that
most
sounds like
difficult.
that sounds like a boxer from Mike Tyson Punch Out.
you know what though,
And-
Noble? Look at it as a positive. Another thing about that, what I used to like about the EuroLeague teams in 2K was when I didn't know anybody, I just had to play basketball. I just had to play according to what I knew about the sport. So in NHL, if you don't know a lot of the guys, then it will force you to play just the sport itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily don't know anybody in the NHL like that, but I can tell you one thing: the game. If you play the game by the sport, it's very intense.
When there's no names attached to your strategy.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I still play NHL 2K5. That game is still phenomenal, and it's very intense. But I mean, that's just another story for another day.
Yeah.
But like I said, hockey in general, NHL has been doing a very good job of giving you a very intense sport. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat as you're trying to score. Is that's something that you can't find in many. You can't find that in many sports titles nowadays.
And one more thing before we go, Pez, fix your fucking commentary. The shit still sucks.
Hey man, listen, that's Konami. Good luck.
Dumbass commentary, man.
That's Konami.
Man.
Good luck.
And I need folks to back off. They need to fall back on NHL's commentary.
Oh,
I
it's
was
actually
complaining it was boring last year.
Now
now
it's too
y'all got-
exciting.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
it's pretty good. I actually like. I was watching your live stream. I noticed it. It's pretty
And
good.
like I said, they're taking a page from Madden and they're gonna update their commentary throughout the season. So
All
they,
right,
Jesus
all
Christ,
right,
gamers cannot be satisfied these days.
man. Tell me about it. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Oh, and one
Fucking
more thing, Mills.
baby.
You still a clown, Mills. By the way,
Oh, that ain't going.
He had to throw that last shot in.
That
yeah,
ain't gonna change. It's the truth.
kind
Though.
of see him posting stupid shit online recently. I ain't said nothing, but it's just like some people just whatever.
All right, one more thing before we go. I'm gonna do the outros. Purchase the intros
Oh
and
yeah,
down there. Link in
almost made it through. Damn.
You already know what to do. If you want your videos to look nice in the beginning, people keep engaged, high quality intros, they're right there. Enough said. This is First and Framerates episode 84. We did another great episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Everybody who came through. Freddie G, nice to see you come back through. That guy Pete, I never seen him the first time coming through. I guess Pete Reese. Thank you for coming through. All the guys who are regulars, we really appreciate you. Thank you guys for spreading the word. Even though Thursday night football is out, we're still getting a pretty good crowd. That just goes to show that we got some loyal people and we got some quality content to give you guys.
Yup.
Once again, every Thursday we're here, 7:30 p.m. We're going to do what we do, iTunes and SoundCloud. You can catch us on there as well. Link is in the description, or you can find me on Twitter, VF Baller. And I said my piece. I'm going to let these guys do their outros, and we're going to call it a day. Anyone of y'all want to go first?
Bills.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, and hope we see all y'all next week plus more. Gonna have plenty of good topics next week. Hopefully some things kind of develop so we can talk a little bit about news and shit. There hasn't been any news this week, so
All right.
but yeah, besides that, yeah, just take care, be safe, and thanks for coming through.
Yeah, I would say same here. I'm like, it seemed like it was gonna be low energy. It probably sounded that way to you guys, but I think we appreciate you guys being here, our hardcore listeners. And definitely next week we'll probably have a little bit more energy, a little bit more to talk about.
We'll actually have something to write. We'll actually have something to
Right.
be energetic about. I think the most energetic part was those picks.
Yeah, exactly. Felt that
And then just like on top of that, just make sure you guys tune in to VF's channel here on First and Frame Rates. Check me out on Twitter, DJ81.
Yeah, fuck all that, man. Check DJ out on his channel too. He do live streams too.
Yeah, I attempted to live stream, but apparently somebody did a live stream at the same time.
Come on, man.
You know what? I sat in that live stream for like 7 to 8 minutes. Nobody showed up. I had already sent out my notices and whatnot. Nobody showed up.
Yeah, VF, why you counter programming? Why you counter programming DJ?
I had no idea he was live streaming. To be honest,
I had no idea VF was going to live.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it in the stream. I was like, you live stream at the same time as DJ.
Yeah, because I came in and called VF a hoe.
He said, I already did, ho.
Yeah, he got me back. Yeah, man. Next week, man, y'all catch us out. Between then, I'll probably doing some more Gears 5 live stream. I'm actually thinking about jumping on the NCAA 14 live stream. I have a video coming out. The reason why I haven't continued the Madden 20 series is not because the game is necessarily bad, but I will discuss that down the road.
Ew, that was a big hit.
But we'll get into that down the road. Catch you guys next week, and you know how it is. Enjoy the games on Sunday. See you Thursday. Peace.
Peace out.
Yeah, Butler did let a pretty good hit there. Boom.
Yeah, that's that response at the end. I was like, ew.